Yo, what's good, y'all? We back with another video, and in this video we're gonna be talking about another topic that's been dragging on all season long, and that is Zion Williamson, who's probably been the top talk of news when it comes to basketball for this whole day. And it's because we don't know what's about to happen. I mean, this man low-key is pulling a Kawhi Leonard back from the 2017-18 season when he got hurt the previous playoffs, and then he came into the season, barely played, got hurt, and you never saw him again. He never came back. He basically just sat out the whole season. Then he forced his way out, got traded to Toronto, and we know what happened there. It's also kind of similar to what Kristaps Porzingis did to the Knicks when he tore his ACL in 2018 and then demanded a trade the following season. He never actually returned to play for the Knicks after he tore his ACL. So it's a similar situation. Zion is making the headlines doing a similar thing that these two players did. Right now, at least, it seems like that. So Zion Williamson, we already know, New Orleans #1 pick back in 2019, was seen as the generational pick we haven't seen since LeBron James. But there's been issues. He's been injured quite a lot through the first 3 years of his career. Started with a meniscus tear back in his rookie season in the preseason. Remember, he also injured his knee in the summer league in his rookie year. Only played like half a game in the summer league, and then we didn't see him for the rest of that time. Then second season, he plays last year, whole season basically. He does get hurt though. He dislocated his finger, was out for like the rest of the season after that, but wasn't a big deal. Then we go into the off season, and news comes out when training camp starts that he broke his foot in the off season and he had to get surgery. Now we're like, okay, but the thing is, he was supposed to be back by at least the second week of the season, maybe around that time frame, November. Then it got pushed back maybe to December, and here we are, it's February, and this man still isn't back. The Pelicans have no real clue what's going on with him, and there's also rumor going on that he had a setback in his foot and he might have to get a second surgery on the same foot. Now we're like, okay, he's injury prone. He might be injury prone. That's an issue. There was concerns about that coming out of college. But the problem is that he's not in contact with anyone on the team, really. At least that's the reports going around. And that's been a big problem, because now in recent news, CJ McCollum, who was traded to New Orleans literally like, I would say a week and a half ago, I think. But he got traded to New Orleans, and I remember during the All-Star break this past weekend, the news was going around that Zion had not even talked to him at all when he joined the team. Now, there are reports from Malika Andrews today that said that Zion did speak to CJ McCollum after the news broke that he didn't speak to him. A little suspect. It feels like he just got forced to talk to the man, but whatever. That's what I think, if you ask me. But you may be asking, why does it matter if he speaks to him or not? It shouldn't really matter like that. But it does, because usually players on that team that a guy gets traded to welcomes them, talks to them, tells them about the team, tells them what's going on, how it is, and just like I said, welcomes them to the team, especially the best players on the roster, or in this case, your franchise player. But he didn't really say anything. He didn't say anything to CJ McCollum at all up until now, and he hadn't been speaking to really anybody. He's been in Portland, Oregon, same thing, doesn't matter. But he's been there the whole time, and I don't really know what's going on. We don't know what's going on with him. And there's also the news with the Pelicans sending their season ticket holders an email for next season's tickets, like they always do. Every NBA team does this, every sports team does this. Season ticket holders, they send an email and all that, and it mentions Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, going into next season as their premier players. Even mentions head coach Willie Green, but no mentioning of Zion Williamson in that email at all, which has people raising their eyebrows on the future of Zion in a Pelicans uniform, and how long is that really going to last. Not to also forget that in the offseason last summer, there was also the rumor that Zion's stepdad or his family had their own thoughts about Zion playing in New Orleans for the near future. They were saying maybe he might force his way out. And it really brought me back to that day, 2019. I'll never forget the date, May 14th, 2019, draft lottery. And I don't ever forget the date because I was in some serious pain after that draft lottery at the time. But I remember the lottery results came in. Pelicans landed that number 1 pick. And then after that, there was a lot of reports saying that Zion looked really upset that the Knicks didn't get that number 1 pick. And this is not the Knicks fan in me talking. It's what the reports were saying. It's not me. So don't get mad at me saying, oh, I'm just delusional. That's what the report said. Then there's also the time last season when he played at the Garden. He was cheesy smiling so hard when they asked him about playing at the Garden. That man was smiling so hard. He was lying to the media. I don't care what anybody says. He was lying. That man said that New York might be his favorite place besides New Orleans to play in. Stop lying, bro. We know you're lying. So I thought about those two situations, and I just thought, if Zion some way, somehow got traded this offseason from New Orleans, this could potentially change the future of the league, because the fact is he's only in his 3rd season, he's only 21 years old, and he would basically be forcing his team's hand already, which is something we haven't really seen. We've seen players do something similar, but a guy to be in his 3rd year, 21 years old, and he might deny the contract extension that he's going to receive just to take the qualifying offer and then force a trade, that would be crazy. Like, not even, Porzingis was threatening to do the same thing, but they shipped him out of there. Remember, they shipped him out of there before he could do that. So I'm wondering, does New Orleans do the same thing? Because if he accepts the qualifying offer and then decides to just walk in unrestricted free agency, the Pelicans would be the biggest losers that I could think of in that whole situation. So I think about that. Not only that, though, it can also affect future players, because these guys can do the same thing if he does this. Why can't they do the same thing if he does something like this? It can also affect smaller market teams, because we already know small market teams already have trouble getting stars via free agency. So imagine if guys just started requesting trades for their financial benefit, marketing and all that stuff, to leave and go to bigger markets like LA, Chicago, New York, Boston, those type of teams. Now, me personally, I don't really care what Zion does. If he demands a trade, best believe I want him in a Knicks uniform. I wanted him in a Knicks uniform back in 2019. So I definitely want him in a Knicks uniform now. I don't care what any Knicks fan says, saying that they don't want him because of his injuries. I don't care. I'll take him. The fan in me wants him to request a trade and get traded to the Knicks, and we have the RJ Zion duo in Madison Square Garden. It'd be beautiful. But as a basketball fan, this can really become a big time issue, and I'm interested to see what happens in the future with Zion's, tenure in New Orleans. Anyways, that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Link will be down in the description below. This has been a checkup where we talk hoops and hoops only, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.